Good morning. Welcome to Pizza Day. And welcome to Winnipeg. Now, I guess you probably gathered I did not come back to the model table last night and do any painting. Yeah, I got tired. That's the truth. I got kind of tired. So I did do a little bit of painting here this morning. I've gone along all around along the side here. I wanted to see how that was going to go. It's going. I can see that there's going to be places where I'm going to have to touch up afterwards, where I've sort of gone up over the edge onto the dark 77. However, I've got to the place now where I'm thinking, do I need to paint? Let me see, I got to be careful how I grab this because it's still wet. But do I need to paint right here? I don't think so, because it seems to me that we're going to be putting flat pieces of panel. Excuse my reach here. Okay, yeah, and there's places where these sort of things are going to go on. And these I can spray quite easily. Don't need to do any masking or anything. So I can spray them and then glue them on. But they don't get put on until after the module is assembled, and then they sort of overlap a lot of the area. Now this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? Okay. Oh, we might have a nice sunrise this morning. You can see in the sky there, it's building up for what might be well, it's about time we had a spectacular one. We haven't had a spectacular one for about a year. So probably about an hour, half an hour from now, we'll know. Anyway, if it's nice, I'll stick it up. If it isn't, well, that's the way it goes. I'm going to just continue on here, and paint the other side now along the bottom, and then of course I've got to do the exact same thing here, because we got a lot of those little parts that we painted the 66 earlier. They get stuck on the sides. So in order to complete the step we're in, this all has to be done. It won't do it by itself, that's for sure. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Well, hey, then why not get one that's already made? I mean, where's the fun if there's nothing to do, right? Okay, let's just get at it here and get some more painting done, and maybe by that time our sunrise will be up, and we'll see what we got. Now I've sped up our sunrise here about 100 times, in fact exactly 100 times, and it's not exactly what you would call spectacular, but it was nice. Just sort of gives a person, you might say, encouragement as you're sitting here at the model table and looking at the screen. Yeah, encouragement. Okay, I'm guessing it's probably about half an hour ago when I finished painting these sides, and the 19 is just beginning to shrink wrap now around the details. And I don't think I'm going to try and give it a second coat. I think I'm going to see how it looks. Now, I did not use this brush. I used the other one that's just like it, only not trimmed. And I forgot to mention yesterday that I was not too satisfied with the way this brush worked. In other words, when I press it on something flat, yeah, I've got a nice straight line, but it doesn't feather out the way I had hoped. So I ended up using the other one that I did not cut. Anyway, we've got our sides painted now, and you can see if I get the light to cast a shadow that I've still got detail going on, and I think once the paint shrink wraps all the way, it's going to be okay. Let me get this thing around here. All right. There are a few places that you can't see because of your angle that I did go up over the edge of the gummel, you might call it, and I'm going to have to touch up with the 77. Not very many, and I don't think it's going to be a problem. However, the rest of the parts, I do believe I can spray. I don't have to do any masking. So, yeah. Now, a couple of minutes ago, my microwave shut off. And yeah, I guess you know what that's all about. I know it's kind of early, but I was getting a bit of a sort of a hankering for it. So, okay, enough poking here, Ron. Enough poking. Now, I don't know what happened to this pizza. It just sort of fell apart in the microwave. When I took it out of the freezer, it didn't look quite like this. So, Okay, that was really tasty. Problem is, there wasn't more. Well, that's not 100% true. After you heard me have my second well, I took that pizza and I cut it up into a whole bunch of little tiny pieces. Then I mixed it in with some potato and carrot, and yeah, so I'm just right now a hair over my 1,000 calories for today. Now, if I can be good for the rest of today, I'll still be okay. But at least I'm not hungry anymore. At least not right now. However, back to this. We now are at the place where we can actually start on step 15. And step 15 wants us to put a bunch of little pieces along the sides here. So now this is painted, we can actually do this. However, this paint is probably still pretty soft in places. I think that the little parts will probably stick on a lot better once the paint is cured a little better. So I'm going to give it a bit of a rest here. And I was thinking that in all likelihood to drop these pieces down, we'll let gravity be our friend here. And we're working on this piece, so we don't actually need this one here. Just get it off. Okay, we'll let gravity be our friend here and tilt this on its side. I don't know if you can still see that. Well, you get the idea anyway. And that way when we put something on the side here, it doesn't want to slide off. I think that's going to work out okay. Some of these pieces, they actually have little holes where you plug something in. Like, for instance, these pressurized cylinders. They get plugged into these holes here on the side, so they wouldn't be a problem, but pretty much everything else I think is a problem. It'll fall off. Oh, there is one thing that I did do, one mistake I did make, and I realized it afterwards, but it was too late. And that was on these pieces here, photo etch E3s. And they were supposed to be bent, and I did not bend them. So consequently I have to bend them now, which means I'm going to be chipping off the paint, and I'll touch them up afterwards. They should be fairly easy to touch up, because where the paint is going to chip off, well, mind you, where I hold on to it is probably going to chip off too. Yeah, that was too bad. I should have thought of that, but I didn't until after I'd sprayed, and I think it was even the next day. Okay, let's I was going to say recompose and drop some of these down, but I just said I wanted to wait a while, so I don't know. Maybe I should wind today's episode up and work on it a little later this evening. Yeah, I'm going to wind today's episode up, folks. And about my diet, I've done really well. I've been on it now for, about 10 days or so? And I've averaged under 1,000 calories a day. There was a couple of days, like the day that I did go a tiny bit over the 1,000, but there was a few days that I was under the 1,000, so it kind of averages out. Anyway, I'm encouraged. So thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you in the next episode.